Hello, hello, and welcome. If you can see and hear me, please let me know that in the chat. And if you're hearing me twice, let me know that in the chat as well. So I'm doing something a little bit new today, and I want to make sure everything's working. If you're on your computer, then look at the bottom for your icon for the chat. If you're on your phone, it's probably hidden behind three little dots on the bottom right hand of your screen. But please drop something into the chat and let me know if you can hear me and if you can see me. Cannot see me. Okay, let me see if I can fix that. Okay. Um, are you seeing me now? Let me know. You can hear but not see. Okay, let me see if I can fix that. Because you should be seeing a slide and seeing me both. Let me stop a minute here. Okay, do you see me and the slide that says party proof your holidays? Just the slide. Okay. Not sure why that's not working, but that'll still be fine. What I'll do is I'll stop sharing for right now. And hmm, okay, oh, I know why you can't see me. No worries. I will fix that. There we go. Alrighty, is that better? Alrighty, awesome. I think we've got this going just the way we want. Okay, because of how we're doing this today, I'm going to ask you all just to make sure you're muted. I think you are right now. And we're going to let you unmute at the end when I have a little bit of extra time for those that want to stay on and do a bit of a question and answer. Okay, so we will mute for the first part and then I will let you know when you can unmute and ask questions. But if you have any questions as we're going along today, go ahead and drop them in the chat. That way you don't forget them and I can see them, and that'll help me to make sure we get any questions answered as well as we do this. So we've got just a couple more minutes here and we will get started because I don't want to keep you long. People are busy this time of year. Lots of things going on, but I thought a 30-minute drop in here with some really powerful strategies that can really help you get through the next 2 weeks without just blowing up your blood sugars. So that's what we're going to be talking about today as we talk about how to party proof your holidays. So welcome, welcome. I hope your week has been going well. The countdown is on. You probably have company coming in, friends coming in, lots of things on the calendar. And I'm just so honored that you took these next 30 minutes to be here with us today, because I believe these 30 minutes can make a big difference to how you walk through the next 3 weeks of your life. 2 to 3, because by 2 weeks, we're going to be past New Year's. So, hey, this can be some of the toughest days of the year when we're looking at blood sugars. So I just want to welcome you and let you know that I am really excited about what we're going to be sharing here, and have your pen and paper ready so that you can take notes. And do make sure you know where your chat is, because I'm going to be dropping some things in the chat for you that you're not going to want to miss. And you also want to have the opportunity to ask questions by interacting there in the chat today. So for a couple of reasons, it's important for you to do that. If you can turn your cameras on, I really love that. You can see me. I like to be able to see you too. I don't know if you've ever tried talking to a blank wall, but it's not a lot of fun. So I just want to welcome all of you. We are going to jump right in as we are at the top of the hour. And today we're going to be talking about how to party proof your holidays. That means how can we get through the holidays without you blowing up your blood sugars. So welcome, welcome. I do have a surprise gift for all of you that are here live today. So congratulations for being here live. We are planning to be all done with our content by 1/2 past. So 30 minutes is the time that I'm planning to be with you today. I will stay on a little bit for questions and answers after that if anybody wants to, but nobody has to. And make sure that if you're just jumping in now, you put any questions you have in the chat so I can see them. And I will also be asking you some questions as we go through our little presentation today, and you will need to know where the chat is. So please locate that chat and let's get started here. And also just a reminder, the replay for today's presentation is only going to be available to people who registered. So congratulations on registering. I know you registered because you're here. And that is who the replay is for, only those that registered. There are some people that couldn't show up live, but if they registered, they're going to get a copy of this. Alrighty, let's dive in. We're going to be talking about 3 powerful strategies to help you get through the holidays without just completely blowing up your blood sugars. So first strategy, everybody ready for that? It is the party proof plate. And let me just switch slides here so that you can see what I'm talking about here. And this first strategy, just in a few words, is never start with naked carbs. So what do I mean by that? It does mean that you want to pay attention to the order in which you're eating things at any meals that you go to. It's a really simple strategy. When I say don't start with naked carbs, I mean that carbs, when you take them all by themselves, especially if they're refined and processed, they hit harder and faster to your blood sugars. But if you pair them correctly and you sequence your meal, the same foods can create a smaller spike. So that's why I want you to be aware of how to think about your plate, whether you're at home or you're being entertained, you're at a friend's house, you're at an office party, whatever it is, I want you to think about the three parts of your plate. This is something that's going to help you not have the same high spikes as the exact same foods, just consumed a little bit differently. So the three-part plate starts with protein because protein is what anchors your meal. It helps you to have satiety. It helps you not to be hungry in between meals for snacks. It's a really important part of your meal. And you want to start with protein and fiber. Those are the first two things you want to eat in each meal. A fiber buffer is something like non-starchy vegetables. That's greens, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, all of those sorts of things. Those non-starchy veggies and greens, they're going to blunt your blood sugar spikes. So you want the protein and the fiber as the first part of any plate. Then the third part is the carbs. But I want you to make those purposeful carbs. Like you can still have carbs on your plate, but make them the third thing you eat, not the first thing. Because the order actually matters. And if you only remember one thing tonight, I want you to remember that protein plus fiber first and carbs last, even at a party. So here are a couple of really quick examples. For example, if you are somewhere and your choice is chips and dessert, you want to grab some protein before you do the chips and dessert. So we're talking about have some like tofu or Greek yogurt dip plus veggies first. Okay, so that's an example. You'd eat those things first on your plate before you went to the higher carb things like the desserts, the starchy things, the sugary things. Start with your protein and your veggies. Then maybe you're at a meal. Well, if you're at a meal, look for what's the salad, the vegetable, the protein in this meal, and eat that first and kind of fill up on that. And then just add like a side of the carbs. So, like a smaller portion of whatever that carb is. If you want dessert, have it after you've had the protein and the fiber, not as an opening act. So those are some like examples of how you would do that. So right now, I want you to go to your chat and let me know what's the hardest food for you to deal with, like to say no to. Is it bread, desserts, cocktails, late night snacking? What is it that tends to put you over the edge this time of year? Bread, dessert, cocktails, late night snacking, or something else, but drop it in the chat. I want to see what it is. Okay, I'm seeing chocolate, bread, potato, anything, chips, sweet snacks, sweets, breads. Okay, so here's a little tip for you. At the end of today's program, I have a recipe packet for you. All of you that have registered for this will get the recipe packet. And in that recipe packet, I have some kind of blood sugar friendly holiday recipes. There's roast, there's stuffing, there's pie, there's several different desserts. So there's also like a really great vegetable side dish. So my suggestion is when you know that you're going to be outside of your home where you don't have control over everything else on the table, you be the one that makes sure to bring like the protein and the fiber bit. That way you also know you'll have that. And just don't worry about it because other people will bring the carbs, right? Like that's always going to show up. That won't get forgotten. But if your contribution is in the protein fiber section, it means you have protein fiber to start with, and you're also helping other people out. So you can use some of those recipes that are in that packet they can be helpful for you for your contributions that you're taking like to potluck or to the family holiday dinner or to the party. Okay, so there's some recipes that will help you with all of those different kinds of social occasions. And if you're bringing the protein and the fiber to share, let other people do the desserts and the sugary things. Okay, so that's our first strategy. Think about your plate and the sequence in which you eat things. So let's take a look at strategy number 2. That's the 10-minute post-meal reset. Okay. Now, strategy 2 is like the fastest win for busy people. You're probably one of those busy people. What you do for just the 10 minutes after you eat can change what happens in your body for the next several hours. So, let me explain how this works. So, when you take some time to move your arms, your legs right after you eat, it uses up the circulating glucose in your blood and it helps your body to handle the meal better. So this isn't a workout. This is a reset. So 10 minutes after each meal. Now, let me show you some ways to do this. It's a really simple thing, and there's a very simple rule that you can use. So within 30 minutes after you've eaten, do 10 minutes of easy movement. It could be a walk, it could be just going up and down stairs, it could be tidying up the kitchen, it could be gentle cycling on your exercise bike. It's actually anything that you actually do. So sitting in the easy chair is not going to count, but clearing the table does. And as you're doing this, just think about moving your arms and your legs, maybe even more than you need to for that activity, but just use it as an excuse to move your arms and your legs. And this is something that you can do after any meal because even if you can't walk, maybe like it's just not convenient. Like you have a whole house full of company. Well, march in place while you're doing the cleanup. Maybe you're standing in the kitchen at the sink. March in place. Don't just stand still. When you march in place, your legs are moving and they're helping to move that sugar out of your bloodstream. Another one is that's a great time for you to go, hey, I really need to walk the dog. And just put that dog on a leash and go out with the dog for 10
Yeah, the
minutes.
dog.
Right? So it can be really easy things. In fact, if you do 2 chunks of 5 minutes in that first half hour after you eat, that still counts. So that is your strategy number 2. And you can figure out a way to do this after any meal. It really doesn't matter what the context is. You can figure out a way to just move for 10 minutes within 30 minutes of finishing the meal. So right now, kind of decide what's your default going to be? Is it going to be just an easy walk? Is it going to be going up and down stairs? Is it going to be cleaning up the kitchen? I want to see your choice in the chat. So take a minute and tell me in the chat what's your default 10-minute commitment after meals? A 10-minute walk, Sharon says. Okay, I like that. Anybody else? Walking in place. There you go. Stationary bike, walk or indoor bike if it's cold. You can even walk indoors. Like you can go up and down your hallway. Like maybe you've got laundry to do. Take it down to the plate from the laundry room to the room where you're going to put it away one piece at a time. Just like make it last a little bit longer as you walk up and down the hall, just for the 10 minutes. And so it's like you don't have to feel like you're taking time off from taking care of what you need to take care of or entertaining your company. And I would suggest that you even invite your company to join you in whatever it is you're doing. It's only 10 minutes. And so maybe a few people will go with you to walk the dog just so you can have a little chat with them. And then you come back into the house. It's like they won't miss you for 10 minutes and they will be fine. So the ones that want to sit in the armchair or watch TV or whatever, that's okay. They're going to be okay while you go out and walk the dog or whatever it is you need. Maybe you're taking out the compost for the garden or you're taking the garbage trash out to the dumpster, whatever those little things are that you can work into your right after your meal routine is going to help you with those blood sugars and blunt the spikes. So marching in place, walking or stretching, depending on the location. I love what you're doing, but I really want every one of you to make some micro commitment. Like this is a little thing that you can do for the next 2 weeks after each of your meals. So clean up the kitchen. I love that. Right? So like it doesn't have to be
Okay.
hard. It is something that all of you can do. And let's take a look at the third strategy. So this third strategy is what I call a 2-week rhythm, not perfection. So this is how you stay steady across the next 2 weeks of crazy schedules, company, family stress, whatever it is you're dealing with. You don't need a perfect day. You just need a rhythm. So let's talk about how you can create that rhythm. So during the next 2 weeks, there's just three simple things to think about under this strategy. So on non-party days, days where you don't have a special occasion, you're just home, maybe just wrapping presents or doing some last minute shopping online. On non-party days, keep your meals really simple and start with the protein. Make sure you have like a good serving of beans or some other source of protein at near the beginning of your meal with your fiber and your salad. So that's what you do on non-party days, really simple meals, and make sure you're getting your protein and your fiber. On party days, you're going to use your strategies 1 and 2, especially the protein fiber first on your plate and the 10-minute reset. Okay, so that's you have clear what you're doing on a day that doesn't have a party or a social occasion and what you're doing on a party day. So party days, you're focusing on strategies 1 and 2, making sure you consume your protein and your fiber first in the meal and you put your carbs on that last. And maybe you won't be so hungry and so you can have a smaller serving of that. And then you get that 10 minutes of movement in after every meal. Then the third situation you might find yourself in is a high carb moment. Like, your sister in law brought her best cheesecake over and you just couldn't resist. And yeah, you had a big chunk of cheesecake. Now what? The next move is not feeling guilty or ashamed. Your next move is the next time you have an opportunity to eat, make sure you're getting protein, fiber, and drink some water. Okay, so protein, fiber, and drink some water, and just that's your little reset. Okay, and so that's what you do if you find that you consume maybe more refined or processed carbs than you really had intended to. Instead of beating yourself up, I just want you to remember what you do after that is have some protein, some fiber, drink some water, and you're reset. Okay, so don't stress, just do the simple reset. So here are the three things that we've talked about that can really make a difference with your blood sugars over the next 2 weeks. So no naked carbs. That means you always start your meal with protein and fiber. If you're grabbing a snack, make sure you get protein and fiber first. Do the carbs third. 10-minute post-meal reset. That is 10 minutes of activity. Doesn't have to be anything extreme. It can be just walking around the house. It can be walking back and forth from the dining room table to the refrigerator, to the sink, to the, leftover containers, just walking back and forth. Just try not to stand in one place for 10 minutes of those first 30 minutes after you eat. The sooner they are to when you get out from the table, the better the effect. But remember, every single minute you move, for most people, will drop their after meal blood sugar spike by 2 to 3 points. So if you move for 5 minutes, you're still dropping your after meal spike by 15 points or so. If you go for the 10 minutes, you can drop it 30 points. That is significant. And it's really worth it. And if you do that consistently, you're not going to be bumping up your hemoglobin A1C by a whole half a point over the holidays. You really don't want to do that. And these are some simple ways to help you not do that. And then remember that you're just in a rhythm for these next 2 weeks using strategy 1, strategy 2, and strategy 3. And if you have any questions about that, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I will take a minute to look at what's come in so far. Because I want to make sure that you understand what we just talked about. So Some people are going to walk or stretch, march in place, clean up dishes, move arms and legs. I love that, Pam. And Donna said, I thought it wasn't good to drink with your meals. Is that right? Yes. What I mean by this is when we talked about the water, if you have just consumed like a, a regular size of cake or pie or dessert or fudge or something, the what you want to do is at your next opportunity. So you might want to wait a half hour to an hour after you've eaten for the water part of it. But staying hydrated is part of that reset because a lot of times we think we're hungry and we're actually thirsty. So during this time, if you pay attention to drinking extra water, it's going to help you be hydrated and it will also help you to tell the difference between when you're thirsty and when you're hungry. Okay, so those are the three strategies. Now, I've been thinking about what can I do for all of my people for Christmas? I wanted to do something special for you. And I know that sometimes even these simple things that we're talking about, some people are like, this is actually something I probably need to do for longer than just the holidays. And so some of you here might want some help applying this to your life. Because even though these are three simple strategies to carry over the holidays, they actually are strategies that if you implement in your life, it's going to make a big difference to you. Because as you apply these things to your schedule, your cravings, your labs, your reality, maybe that's where you could use a little bit of extra support. Well, that's exactly what coaching is for. So, as my holiday gift to you, I want to make it possible for you to get support together with somebody that matters to you. So, for a very limited time, this is not something I've done before, and I don't know if I'll ever do it again, but for a limited time, I'm doing a BOGO option across all of my coaching tiers, from the very lowest tier to the highest tier. And that lowest tier is less than the cost of a pizza per month. So there's a tier for everybody. And I want to make it possible for you to sign up for one of those tiers with somebody that matters to you. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a spouse, but it's a 2-for-1 offer on any one of my coaching tiers. And I will do this for any tier that you want support from, starting with the one that I said is less than the cost of a pizza for an entire month of support. So you can enroll in one of these levels of support with your spouse or your family member or a friend. So the next step is just to set up a phone call. It's a free call and it'll help me to match you to the correct tier of support. And if it's a fit, I'll extend a holiday gift, tell you exactly how to claim your buy one, get one free, and we will get that set up for you. And it'll give you a way to start 2026 on the right foot. So to qualify though for this offer, now listen really carefully because I don't want anybody to miss this. To qualify for this very special one-time offer, you need to reserve your phone call slot no later than Sunday at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. All right, so point your camera at this QR code. I'm also going to drop the link in the chat. So if the QR code is harder for you to use, you can just click on this link that I'm dropping in the chat. Okay, it says phone call. When you click on that, it'll tell you what the slots are that are open right now for phone call appointments. The appointment doesn't have to be before Sunday, but you have to make the appointment before Sunday, noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, because then this link is going to go away. This link won't be good. Okay. So you have to use the link to make your appointment before noon on Sunday. And that's the only way that you have the option to do the buy one, get one free for any one of my coaching tiers from the lowest to the highest. So we can jump on a free phone call, figure out if this is even a good fit for you. And if it is, then we can talk about which one might work. So no obligation, do make an appointment so we can get on a phone and talk. And of course, the next thing is I got some more gifts for you as well as your next steps. So let me get that for you. Because you registered for our little workshop today, you all get my brand new holiday pack of blood sugar friendly recipes. So this is the QR code. You can point your phone at this code, at this QR code, and go straight to the document, download it, print it, do whatever you want with it. I will also drop a link for this in the chat, so you can get it either way. And this one is the link for the recipes. Make sure I've got that here for you. Okay, hopefully everybody can see that. So in the chat is the link to set up your free phone call. If you want to see if this buy one, get one free option is going to work for you, just get on that free phone call and we'll figure that out, figure out if that's a good fit or not. And then the recipes, those are for all of you that are here and now. And I have a surprise one for those of you that are here live, right? So let me tell you a little bit about this, because this live bonus time I'm really excited about. Because you showed up, and this is not going to be available to people that are just watching the replay, but because you are live here and you showed up, you're getting my party proof cheat sheet. This is so fun. It's a whole script pack, a couple of pages with phrases that you can use at parties, when people offer you dessert, when drinks are the only thing on the menu, when you've got food pushers in your life, here, take one of these. Here, you got to have some of my special, whatever it is. This cheat sheet has all the things to say, really short, really easy phrases to help you implement strategies 1, 2, and 3, just like we talked about today, and what to say to people when they maybe don't understand what you're doing. And they're just really simple little scripts. And that link is going to be right here in the chat. So sorry for you guys that are watching the replay. This was something I just had for people that are here live, because I promised something special to people that took that time. And there's your Party Proof cheat sheet. I think you'll really like it. I had so much fun making it. Let me give you just a sample. Let me give you a sample of what you'll get when you go there. Just a minute, I just lost my screen. Hang on a second. There we go. All right. You should still be seeing my screen just fine. But I wanted to tell you a couple of things off that cheat sheet that you will get to enjoy. And here, just going to tell you, like, for example, say you're at a party and you're loading your plate with a few of the veggies and the dip, and somebody goes, "Oh, here is Aunt Martha's wonderful cake. Do you want a piece of this?" You can say something like, "I'm starting with protein first, then I'll grab what I want." So like it has like all these little phrases that you can use in these different situations to help you keep your strategies in place and your priorities in place, but without anybody feeling like uncomfortable or offended. And so it gives you like ideas of things to say when you're at the party. Like, what happens if you go to somewhere and all there is appetizers? Like, what do you do? What if it's a buffet situation? And so it's like, I don't want my blood sugars to go way high. And so it has like all these little scripts and little tips for things to say and how to handle those specific kinds of situations. What do I tell myself so I don't spiral? And then I included in there one more thing that you will love, which is a blood sugar rescue card. So it's a calm, step-by-step reset if you realize you've overdone it. So the link is in the chat. I'm going to drop it one more time. I think somebody just jumped in after I had dropped it, so they might not see it. So let me do that. There you go. There's the cheat sheet link again. And I think you'll really, really enjoy that. So I just want to say, if you have any questions, this is the time to jump in and let me know. And I want to say thank you for spending 30 minutes with me. Use strategy 1 at your next meal. Use strategy 2 tonight if you can, and lean into that 2-week rhythm, not perfection, over the next 2 weeks. But I can say a few extra minutes for a couple of questions in the chat if anybody has questions. And I want to wish all of you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So let me stay on just in case anybody had any questions. I have a few extra minutes here. I'm happy to answer them. So just let me know. And some of you that jumped in late, don't worry. You will get a link to this whole replay of our recording. It'll probably go out tomorrow morning. So you will want to listen to it right away, though, because I have a very limited time offer that I talked about earlier. And if you miss that, you want to make sure you know about it so you can take advantage of it before it goes away Sunday at noon. So try to listen to your replay before that so that you don't miss out on something that maybe will be exactly what you were looking for to get your 2026 started right. So let's see, any other questions? Blood tests are recommended. Charles, I'm going to answer your question here. What blood tests are recommended to determine insulin resistance other than the standard physical? Okay, there are a couple of good blood tests that can help you with that. One of them is your hemoglobin A1C, and I will drop that in the chat. Test for insulin resistance. So hemoglobin A1C, a fasting insulin level. If your hemoglobin A1C is perfectly normal, your blood sugars are perfectly normal, then I suggest getting a fasting insulin level. Because when you're starting to get insulin resistant, the first thing that that goes up is your fasting insulin before your hemoglobin A1C goes up, before your blood sugars go up. So those are two tests that can help you know right away if you're getting more insulin resistant. The hemoglobin A1C tells you how you've been doing with your blood sugars over the last 3 months, even sooner than that. It will show up changes sooner than that. But those are two that are really helpful to have the results from. If you just jumped in, I just dropped that in the chat. If you just jumped in, you will be getting a replay of today's recording. I am not going to repeat what we've already talked about, but you'll want to watch that replay right away because of a limited time offer I have in here. Now, appreciate a link for the recipes. Again, Deborah, no problem. Let me drop that in here. So all of you that are here get the recipes. There's that link again if you missed it. And it will come to your email tomorrow with the link for the replay. Everybody that registered will get recipes and the replay. If you were here earlier on, you did get a link to the cheat sheet, but I think everybody that was here got that. That was just for people that were here live. Our live is technically over because it was only a 30-minute meeting. So let's see here. 3 links. Pam, you're good. Okay. Supplement recommendations. Becky, drop that question in our Health is Wealth community. And just email me with that question if you're not part of our Health and Wealth community, because that's where I would answer that one. That's going to take more time and it's not really on topic with what we're doing today. But thank you for asking. All righty. Well, have a wonderful, wonderful holiday, Hinzian. Yeah, same thing there. Just email me. That's the kind of questions I answer in our Health and Wealth community. the thing about supplement recommendations because I have like whole Q&As where I dive into that there. It's in the community. So thank you all, everybody. Have a wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And I will be staying in touch with you, hoping you have a wonderful time and a stress-free, party-proofed set of holidays. Good night, everybody.